Hey, I'm Morgan Crook, and today we're going to go through and make a couple short instructional videos on Ventex products, on products specifically for neon. Go through and show and start with the most basic form of making light with an arc, with a transformer, and we're going to go and later see how it expands and how the pieces and parts that Ventex makes all hook together to build a sign. So in this first part, we've got power straight out of the wall coming into this transformer, hot, neutral, and ground. We're going to go back and look at that later. We have power coming out of this transformer. This is a magnetic transformer. It's coming out of the transformer, in this case 9,000 volts, through a specialty wire that Ventex sells. And it goes into this neon tube. Turn it on. We have this arc going through the tube that comes arc from the transformer into the neon. Here we're using neon. The other choice we've got is argon, which is a blue tube. It can have some mercury in it. It works like a fluorescent light to come up with a whole bunch of other colors. We'll talk about that a little bit later too. But what we want to talk about is just this most basic neon light. This works very much like a lightning bolt does out in the rest of the world, where you've got a lot of energy going through a gas or atmosphere, and we end up seeing the lightning bolt. In this case, we've got voltage jumping through this electrode, going through the tube, and in this case, we're running it through this inert gas neon, and we're making light out of it. So what we going to end up doing today is taking this same simple system and putting it together with other components and making light in the whole sign. We'll go through looking at each of these components in a minute and explain what each of them do when they come together. Right in here, you're looking at that same transformer, the Ventex VT90. And it's sitting inside a metal enclosure known as a transformer box. This box is a specially designed thing. UL specifies what it needs to be. The louvers on the side are specified. The knockouts to run power in and out. So the cover that goes on here, also made of this same galvanized steel. In an outdoor application, this transformer sits in there, sits on the box, and that makes it wet location. Here we've got the transformer coming out, and since it's a magnetic transformer, we can run the GTO through these pieces of metal conduit. Now we start going into a bunch of different styles of housings that take the GTO and let it attach to the neon. These two on the bottom, those are called PKs. They are wet location. It's got a ceramic piece inside that metal piece, which means the entire thing is grounded. There's a grounding path all the way, which is a UL requirement for outdoors. The housings that are right above that, a TC200 and a TC100, or that's the bottom one actually is a TC300. It's got the open sides on it that let moisture drain out. Those are damp location pieces, but they do the same thing, and you can sort of see inside this one how there's a spring in there. The GTO goes to a stud here. GTO goes to there, and it goes to a spring right there that the back of those two wires attach to. So that's another way to get power from the transformer into the neon tube. If we look up, we'll see some other versions. Right over here, we're seeing GTO just going straight from the transformer through one of our panel bushings, which keeps the GTO off of the substrate that it's mounted to. Here, it's mounted to polycarbonate, so that's not that big of a deal. It's not polycarbonate isn't very conductive and non-flammable, etc. But if you were using metal here, you wouldn't want that wire up against the metal. So we've got these panel bushings available in black and white for protecting the wire going through a panel. Over here, we're seeing another way to do this. This is another series of housings of TC 100s and TC 50s, if I remember correctly. The short one's the 50. And on this other side, we're seeing that same panel bushing, but in white instead of black. Ventex has all these parts, both in black and white. You can see that the GTO is available in black and white too. Sometimes that makes a difference depending on if you don't want shadows from the black. Sometimes it's depending on the background. Just one works a lot better than the other. Still, everything matches UL and meets all the requirements for National Electric Code. So thanks for taking the time to look at these Ventex videos. Ventex makes more products for the neon industry than anybody else these days. So if you have any questions about what you've seen here or about what your customers are asking for, please call Jessica at Ventex and we will take care of you. Thanks for your time.